Greetings, people of Facebook. Hello there. So, as many of you know from all my millions of Facebook posts, I've been working on this vintage Cold War era T-368 transmitter. And of course, there goes the phone. That never fails. But this is a bit of a hybrid. It's got some B&W parts in it. It's got some other parts. It's a little bit of everything. And I don't have a serial number, so I have no real idea what the history is on the radio. But a transmitter like this could have been used from Pearl Harbor to call for help when the bombings first started. It could have been used for a lot of different things. Most likely it was on a ship. It was pieced together, so it had most likely been through the service depot and worked on a few times. I haven't really done much to it other than tear it apart, repaint the whole thing, clean it up really nice, swap some tubes, do some testing on it, do a little bit of voltage testing on it, check some stuff out. And I hear that Tanya has answered the phone, so I don't have a videographer, so I'm going to have to fake this all by myself. So we've got the test setup going. I'll let you see it in the background here. I've got my R398 receivers set up, ready to go. I've got a laptop ready to go with an SDR on it, so I can kind of monitor my center frequency. And of course, there's the beast, the T-368, which has been, of course, fired up. I'm not going to go live on the first fire up. We had to do a little testing to make sure that it... Hello, Billy. We had to make sure that it was somewhat functional. I didn't want to just go live and set the house on fire. That would have been bad. So, no house fires. Right now, everything's kind of temporary. I'm down in the basement. This is where we've been working on it. And I've got a temporary antenna line run upstairs out to the main dipole. It's going through my tuner upstairs, so hopefully we've got a nice clean signal. I've been running one of those cheesy power meters that you see on eBay all the time. That's military. So we're going to fire this thing up and see what happens. Boy, I wish Tanya was here, because this is kind of a momentous occasion. I really have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to flip the camera around here. Flipping. All right, so the camera's officially flipped. So this is the power supply deck, and this thing's got some cool timers on it. So it kind of stages itself up nicely. So we're going to hit the main power for the filaments. You'll hear the fans kick on, and then you'll hear the relays start to stage, and then the plate power will come up. Now I've already roughly tuned this thing, so when plate power comes up, I'm in normal mode, not in low power mode. Plate relay is already on. A few more seconds. And kaboom. Okay, so we got plate voltage. It's about 2300 volts, give or take. And you can see, trying to get rid of the reflection. You can see we've got some plate current, nothing major. I'm already tuned up. It looks like 3875, but I really am tuned to 3873. And I've got a little bit of modulation plate current. The bounce in the meter is from actually me talking. So this is kind of ready to go here. I've got an R390A, which is on. I've got the volume a little low, so I'm going to have to do some juggling here. And then, of course, I've got my REA mod monitor ready to go. And I've got an SDR to keep an eyeball on my carrier and make sure I get no drift. And I'm not seeing any drift yet, so that's a good thing. So, oh yeah, a bunch of other receivers, but I'm not using any of those. So let's see. We'll go to dummy load, and I'm using a vintage microphone, carbon mic, into the vintage carbon microphone port, and we're going to check our total power output here, see if it'll focus. So that's about a 350 watt carrier with a bit of feedback. How'd you like that, huh? And if you look at, I don't know if you can see this. Come on. So that's about 300 mils of 300 milliamps of plate current. And I really don't have to, I mean, we can check the grid current, but that's kind of nice and casual. So we'll leave it at that. So we've got high voltage. I don't hear anything going on fire yet, even though a fire extinguisher is handy, thanks to my cousin Dan and all his safety tips. So we're going to switch to operate. I know I'm going through a well-tuned antenna upstairs, so I'm not worried about it. Now, here comes the fun part. Let's see if we can make a contact. So I've got the mic. How do I flip this thing? Okay, here we go. Alright, so it's back to me now. And I've got my vintage comm mic from the T-368. And I think I've got audio. Let's see how bad the feedback is. It's bad. Alright, so we're going to crank that down. Still bad. Alright, let's just talk. 1 2 1 2 CQ CQ. This is K3FEF testing. 1 2 1 2 CQ test on 75 meters. 1 2 1 2. I can smell tubes getting hot. I like that smell. Let's try that again. CQ75, this is K3FEF, testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2. First time transmitting on a restored T-368. I know there's lots of feedback. I'll work on that. K3FEF, testing 1 2 1 2. Now, band conditions are horrible, so, I mean, no one might even be on the air. In fact, I would be really surprised if somebody came back right now. Alright, so let's flip it around. We'll try it the other way. Alright, so let's see if we can watch the plate current on the modulation and on the PA at the same time. CQ75. This is K3FEF testing 1 2 for the first time on the T368 restored transmitter. 1 2 1 2 K3FEF. Hello, 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 hello. CQ75. This is K3FEF calling CQ on 3873 for the first time on a restored T368 transmitter with about a 300 or so watt carrier, give or take. Hopefully, 1 2 1 2. Looks like the loading is actually changing on the antenna, probably because we got a little bit of rain. Now, that's not the best she can do. It can definitely do a 400 watt carrier. Actually, it can probably do about 450, but I'm not trying to push this thing too hard. So, let's see. Let's see if anybody will call back. Let's see if anybody can hear me. John, if you can transmit, try transmitting. I want to make sure I'm actually... Actually, I'd love to zero beat you on the R390A just to make sure I'm really tuned up here. I did have a problem with the TR relay. Vino. Wow. Conditions might really, really be bad. Actually, conditions might be horrible. Let's see what we got going on over here. It's probably not going to be a lot of modulation. Yeah, solar flare about an hour ago. That makes sense. I'm not surprised. So let's see what we got here. I hate this feedback problem. I got to put a silencer on here. CQ75, CQ75. This is K3FEF testing 121212. Alright, modulation's not horrible. And I don't even have an antenna on this thing and it's picking up. 1212. Testing 12. This is K3FEF testing on the T-368 transmitter with a carbon microphone. Nothing fancy, just making sure we're getting out. If anybody hears me, please come back. That'd be really nice. CQ75, CQ75, K3FEF, testing on the T-368 transmitter. We'll crank that up. Oh, come on. Alright, we may have to give this a... Gave you about a 50-watt carrier exactly on 3873. Too bad band is so awful. And I think that's the problem. Yeah, I think the bottom line is the band just sucks completely. If you look at my web SDR, which right now is disconnected because I didn't want to blow it up, you'll notice that there's pretty much no signals coming in right now. It's just really bad. We did have a bit of a solar flare before, so that'll kill things as well. And I would switch this thing up to like 40 meter, but then I got to retune it, and I don't want to torture you guys with the whole retuning. Although I might do a little bit better on, I might do better on 40. We'll see what happens. But it's working. Nothing has gone on fire yet. I don't smell any smoke or burning components. That's really good. I don't have it fully loaded, so it's not putting out full power. I think that's a good thing. I kind of want to break these tubes in a little bit. And it seems to be doing pretty nicely. I mean, of course, it looks great. Now, tonight will probably get a little bit better. So I'm going to give this another whirl this evening. Hopefully the usual crowd is on 3873. And I would be happy if I could, hit the usual crowd. Bob, Brian, Clark, that whole gang. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely getting out because the SDR is picking it up strong and I don't even have an antenna on it. So I know I've got some... I'm using the SDR play down here with a very short antenna. So... the fact that it's even picking me up is pretty amazing. And the mod monitor don't look too bad. I'm going to... Hold on. Oh, no, that's me. That's actually... wow. So basically, the modulator is kind of almost always running at low power until, of course, you key up the plate. So right now, the R398 is actually picking up... the modulator. Let's try it one more time. I'll turn down the volume. CQ75, CQ75. This is K3FEF, testing the T368 transmitter for the first time on 3873 amplitude modulation. CQ75, CQ75. This is kilowatt 3, Fox Echo Fox. Kilowatt 3, Foxtrot Echo Foxtrot. K3FEF, the FEF. So, yeah, we're here testing, and it looks like it's putting out pretty good power, about 300 mils on the plate at 2300 volts. That's pretty nice. So hopefully my antenna is not on fire upstairs. We'll check that out later on. 1 2 1 2, testing, testing. K3FEF. Well, I tried. It's working. Trust me, it's working. There's signal getting out. I'm sure I'm putting plenty of fire in the wire. I just don't think anybody's listening because conditions are so bad. And, you know, it's horrible. He hears me at a tune-off set. We can just tell a signal and it appears to be exactly on frequency. All right, well, that's a good thing. I mean, I'm definitely lighting it up. I'm going to test in a little bit. I'm going to have Tanya check my power meter upstairs, which is the final meter before the antenna. So, and yes, there's no FMing. The VFO thing, the VFO is so stable on this guy. We checked the VFO like a million times, and it's rock solid. I was doing a low power in tune-up mode and checking it on the SDR, and it sounded great. Actually, the audio was much better than I thought with the carbon microphone. I wasn't expecting that, so there we go. That's the initial firing of the T-368, and it's definitely putting out some horsepower. It's just really bad conditions today. So we're going to be checking again later on. I'll be back on. We're going to hit it again on 3873. Let's do one final call, just for good measure. Feedback. Let's try this again. CQ75, CQ75, this is K3FEF, testing 1 2 1 2. Sorry about the feedback. Actually, that'll probably wake anybody up. CQ75, CQ75, this is K3FEF, testing 1 2 1 2, and this microphone is crappy too. I think the cable connection's bad. Hello, 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 K3FEF. Calling CQ on 3873. Modulation's weak, that's for sure. If they go tinny, just whack it. Exactly. Just got to shake up the carbon a little bit. Really bad noise. I mean, that's some interesting noise. Almost sounds power line related, but I know it ain't me. Why does the darn camera keep going out of focus? Alright, so I'm going to end the video here. Check back later on. I usually do better around sunset. I'm sure someone will be around after the sun goes down, because that's typically when we get best propagation. So I'll try again later on, and hopefully I'll reach somebody. So thanks for watching. If you checked in, that really was pretty much the first firing up of the T-368. I mean, I did a little bit of tuning up, but I haven't had it connected to an antenna. So you're seeing it on the antenna for the first time, and later on I'll try to make a real QSO and get a contact going on. See you guys later.